Hey everyone, hopefully you guys are enjoying Monster Hunter in whichever fashion you're choosing to play it as. And today I'm going to go over the latest Monster Hunter Now patch notes that released basically at the beginning of the month that not only are addressing some major issues and bug fixes that players were complaining about, which we're going to get to in a moment, but also they're bringing in a couple of brand new features as well, which hopefully will get some players excited. First and foremost, we have a couple of the options to basically have equipment become favorited by a player. You are basically going to have the option to do that. They improved icon visibility, which is something of a complaint. They fixed some network errors regarding paintball hunts, which is something that simply just was an ongoing issue where players were complaining about that. They added the party update as well, which we're going to go into fuller detail, and some adjustments to the bow as well, where basically they adjusted some of the damage output, so players who are using the bow are going to end up having a little bit of a better time. The patch should be live right now. If your game hasn't already updated, you should go ahead and do that. Maybe enable it automatically to update so you can have it instantly update, especially when it comes to mobile games. Having that option enabled should be something that you should easily do without any sort of issue or hindrance to your experience. First and foremost, when it comes to the party feature update, they mentioned that you can now send friend requests to party members from the party menu. This is a great addition because for whatever reason it just simply wasn't available. You can now have friends requests, which means having players that you can group up with a little bit more quicker and faster is always a nice choice to have. And for party members who are already friends, you can now see their friends' details within the party menu. So if they happen to be active or whatever the situation may be, you should be able to see that those players maybe are ready to go, and you can hunt together with them if you so desire. When it comes to the favorite features update, they mentioned that you can now see your favorite equipment on the weapons and armors list. Being able to do that is important, as you can sort out your items a little bit better, and basically having that displayed for other players to see as well is pretty helpful nonetheless. By tapping on the required materials, you can now see which of your favorite equipment requires them for the quality needed. So as long as you favorite something, and whenever you are gathering materials or gathering items from different drops, hopefully not as rare as some of the rarer drops and higher HR levels that we are seeing, you'll be able to kind of like tap on those items and be able to see which armor pieces you're going to be able to craft with those armors that you already have favorited. So it's going to make it a little bit easier, especially if you're looking to upgrade some things from there on out. They also mentioned that improved icon visibility. You can now have differentiate such species more easily with new distinct markers on monster icons. They did that because, of course, Pink Rathian was a little bit of a situation going on there with the icons not necessarily being displayed properly. I don't know if Black Diablos had that issue when it was originally launched. We recently went over that there's going to be another Black Diablos event, so this icon situation might be sorted out by then, of course, when it comes to Black Diablos, if it was an issue. But I certainly remember seeing some people complain regarding Pink Rathian subspecies being a little bit different, and of course using the Rathian icon at the end of the day. So hopefully that's been addressed. And also they mentioned that the sign of stars in the field has been refined. So basically the way that you see stars from monsters is going to be showcased a little bit better. Moving on to the paintball list, they mentioned that you can now see the number of attempts available for any one hunt. And I'm not so sure what to really make out of that. While it's nice to have that information showcased on the screen, it ultimately doesn't fix the issue with paintballs as of right now, or the lack thereof. So I'm really going to reserve judgment on this one to see just how it fully works when I boot up the game for me personally later today. Lastly, they mentioned here in the paintball list updates are more relaxed monster spawn conditions in areas away from main paths on the map. Monsters may now appear within your access range. So basically, more monsters are going to appear on your map, regardless of the position. They don't necessarily tell you by how much, but basically you're going to have an easier time to find monsters. Now, of course, them being the level or the star that you actually need them to be is a completely different discussion, and it's something that Niantic is struggling mightily, might I add, to be able to kind of like sort out. With Pokemon Go, that wasn't much of an issue because basically you just wanted the Pokemon. It didn't really matter. Of course, there was shinies and stuff, but it wasn't that much of an issue. Here, when monsters are just being continually repeated and you're chasing a specific star version of a monster, well, and you're not guaranteed to get that version of a star monster, well, it becomes a little bit of an issue, and players have certainly voiced their opinion. Lastly, they fixed a couple of issues. The network error 6/4 occurs when attempting to initial hunt from the paintball list. So this was something that where players were using paintballs, they just simply kept disconnecting. Another thing I've seen a lot of people complain about is the fact that some players will, have players come into the lobby or like their like hunt, but then instantly get disconnected, or they're trying to join another hunt, but they get disconnected instead. Is one of those things. The connection issues on the mobile games is just not necessarily great, and Niantic again is seemingly starting to work on those, but again, we'll just see how that sorts out. This is one of those things that you're going to experience through time. Trying to have a hot take on that early on, it's not really doing anything. They also mentioned that some of the play restrictions have been eased for hunts initiated from the paintball list. So basically, it makes it easier for other players trying to connect to your hunt with the paintball enacted. Group hunts, you are unable to confirm ready status. That issue has been basically sorted out. Some players were simply just not able to start the hunt even though they were able to connect properly. And hopefully now with this fix, that ready icon should be basically an instant confirmation for everyone on the team, and it should be, starting the fight right away. When it comes to bow, they reduce the damage for shots immediately following the perfect evasion. So while I mentioned at the top of the video that they fixed some of the bugs, they did reduce damage specifically after a perfect evasion, but that's not really how the bow is built around this game. So it shouldn't be seen as a negative. Ultimately, them sorting out some of the other bug fixes when it came to damage multipliers for the bow, that being addressed, I think is more beneficial at the end of the day. When it comes to hammer, they mentioned that it doesn't necessarily align with the direction you have locked onto, so they went ahead and they fixed that. So basically, hammer should be a little bit more accurate going further. And lastly, they mentioned that Rathian may burrow into the ground during a hunt. This one is fascinating only because of what it might imply for the lore. I don't know if we've ever actually seen Rathian burrow into the ground before in any of the previous games, but now in this game, for whatever reason, it will. So I certainly look forward to see what the social media will make out of that interesting little nugget where Rathian is now a Diglett. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. I'm going to be leaving a link to the patch notes and their official Niantic update page for the latest November updates here in Monster Hunter Now. If you're brand new to my channel, though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.